Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Let's get right into it. All right, the interview with Chris Wallace. As I watch this, I'm going to talk more in another video about Trump's handling and blatant just lies about the coronavirus and his complete malfeasance, horrendous handling, criminal handling of this pandemic. I'll talk about that in another video. I'm going to talk about what's going on in Portland in another video. I want to talk about something I noticed that I can relate back to my 25 years of hardcore heroin and crack cocaine addiction. Now, I was a liar. I was a liar and a manipulator. You have to be. I needed drugs every single day. I needed money every hour of every day. This is, I'm not going to get into how it happened and all that, but you become a very, very professional liar and manipulator. Now, one thing that I did when I was a drug addict, in for a penny, in for a pound. I would make up a lie. If I was going to get drugs and I knew I looked messed up, I'd make up a lie. If I got pulled over, I would never break with that lie. I would go to my death continuing with that lie, that falsehood. The same thing if I ever got caught by my relatives, if I ever got caught by an employer, anything to do with drugs, and I lied every day. My general MO was to never break character. No matter how ridiculous the lie was, to stick to it. To drive it home, to believe that lie, to make them have doubts. Even if this lie was ridiculous, and to just stick to it, to believe it in my heart, so that it created just a little crack of doubt in whoever I was lying to. It just created a little crack that maybe, just maybe, this is true. This guy believes it. That was my MO. And as I got into the rooms, as we call them, NA, AA, the 12-step program, which I went to for years. And I actually chaired a lot of these rooms in front of 50, 60 people, which I'm very proud of. But it was common. It was a 99% common amongst everybody in there. It's something that, like, you almost see in Pathological Liars, where you start to believe your lie. You have to believe your lie if you're going to sell it. It's part of the life you live. It's not something I'm proud of, but as I've told you guys in other videos, my failings, my past failures, my past mistakes, I use them as learning tools. I use them to better my life now. I own up to them. I own them, and I use whatever I can, any lesson from them. This is one of them. So as I watched Trump talk in this Chris Wallace interview, I saw this in Trump without a doubt. He would lie. Let's see. So he lied about Biden. He said that Biden said that he defund the police. Now, Trump seems so sure of himself. Get the paperwork, and his people went and got the paperwork. And as his people came closer, you hear Trump say something. It's a qualifying statement. He did this too with the coronavirus. He said that the U.S. had the lowest mortality rate. And he told his Kellyanne or whatever to go get the paperwork. And as she's handing him the paperwork, he says, well, I heard that we had the lowest death rate. That right there, and he did it with Biden, the Biden lie too. It's a qualifying statement. It's a subconscious thing. He knows he's going to stick to that lie. He is going to stick to that lie. Even if that paperwork says the opposite, he is still going to stick to that lie to put doubt in his supporters' minds. He will never admit to being wrong. No matter if he says he always takes responsibility. That's a load, man. He will never admit to lying, to being wrong. Because he needs to put this into his supporters' mind. Just like the people that caught me using, I just needed to put a little crack of doubt in their minds that maybe this guy's telling the truth. And I would go to my grave holding fast to that lie. I would never, ever admit to that lie. The qualifying statement. So as she hands him the paperwork, he says, well, I heard. Now that's giving him an out because he knows that paperwork is going to contradict him. And his subconscious, he knows, because his subconscious knows he's going to be proven wrong in about 5 seconds. So he does a qualifying statement. He says, well, I heard. This is what I heard. So I'm still right. Because then whoever told me was wrong. Because this is what I heard. See where I'm going with this? And I saw him do this like 2 or 3 times in this interview. He is a pathological liar. I was one. I could see it in him. I saw it blatantly. He will never admit that what he said was untrue. He'll blame it on misinformation. He'll blame it on incorrect facts. He'll blame it on a hoax. He'll blame it on anything. See, what he needs to do here, he needs to convince, even if the lie is the most ridiculous thing, even if it's been proven to be a lie, he's just got to put a little bit of crack, a doubt in his supporter's mind that maybe it's true. Maybe Trump is actually telling the truth. Just like I did with, say, a cop that pulled me over. I didn't know it was in the car. I swear, I did not know. I don't care if you put me in jail for 20 years. I did not know. See, that's how it works. But the subconscious, you're not in control of your subconscious a lot of times. And I would say, well, I thought there was nothing. As far as I know, there's nothing in the car. You'll hear a lot of addicts, like on Cops, say this on the show, Cops. Well, as far as I know, there's nothing in the car. There's the subconscious, the qualifying statement right there. Because you know you're going to get caught. So you put in a qualifier. The subconscious tries to cover up because you know in about 5 seconds you're going to be proven a liar. And the subconscious spews something out. And I saw it in this interview with Chris Wallace like 2 or 3 times at least. I was like, oh my God. I never saw this before. I never realized it before. I never hooked it up to my days as a lying, manipulating piece of trash. One more thing. When I say that, it's probably one of the things I am most proud of in my life is my 14 years of sobriety. Very few people, almost nobody has done what I did. I know it sounds boisterous, but it's true. I've started my businesses. I had every tooth in my mouth pulled and replaced. I lost 100 pounds, 98 pounds. I've done a lot, and I'm proud of it. So sometimes I get detractors in my comments that will say, "Oh, you're a drug addict. Why? You don't have morals." See, you're barking up the wrong tree there, because that's something I'm extremely proud of. Like I've told you guys before, I use my past to learn from it, and it's something I'm very proud of. Anyway, getting back to Trump, pathological liar. Watch the interview. You'll see what I'm saying. With Biden, he did it too. As she's handing him the paperwork, he said something about the pact, the unity pact. It was a qualifying statement because he knew it wasn't in there. And as he went through the 100 or so pages in that unity thing where he said that supposedly he was so sure that it said that Biden said defund the police, and he never said that. I've actually heard him say I have heard him with my own ears say the opposite. All right? And he goes through the 100 pages of paperwork, right? And he finds about a dozen other things that he disagrees with. This is called a distraction. This is a more obvious one, where he goes, well, I wasn't, maybe I couldn't find that. I couldn't find where he said defund the police, but look at this. Tell me this is worse. It's all liars do this. Pathological liars. You'll see serial killers do this too. And I'm not comparing myself to a serial killer, but when you have to live a life where you lie to yourself, where you can't own up, you mentally just cannot own what you're doing, you kind of split, you get a split personality. where you believe your lie. You will sell that lie to your death. And you know that in the back of your head, all I have to do is create, I just have to create one little sliver of doubt in this person, in the person I'm lying to, that maybe this is true. It sounds ridiculous, but what if? Is this possible? Could he be telling the truth? And I saw it in Trump. Watch the interview. To you Trump supporters, man, I don't know what to tell you. If you can't see that you're being played by now, you never will. I don't know if it's your pride that's not allowing you to own it, to own your mistake or not. While I'm on that subject, Republican voters against Trump, the Lincoln Project, these are growing pages, groups that are getting a lot more members in these days. People that are just cannot qualify, cannot keep supporting this insanity. All right, you guys have a good Monday.